he lived, and he asked a support from all of them that please, for this mission of Chittorgarh, everybody please be available with your mind, body and wealth. And all of them, they were ready for Maharana Pratap. All right, let's move to the next slide, Nityanand. Okay, most important battle of his life, Haldi Ghati battle. हल्दी घाटी में समर लड़ियो, हल्दी घाटी में समर लड़ियो, वो मायड़ थारो लाल कठे, वो चेतक रो सवार कठे, वो महाराणा प्रताप कठे। हल्दी घाटी में समर लड़ियो, वो मायड़ थारो लाल कठे, वो चेतक रो असवार कठे, वो महाराणा प्रताप कठे। So in Marwadi it is said that I being a Marwadi, so I know very well what this song is talking about. Haldi Ghati mein samar ladyo, the Samrat Rana Pratap, he fought. वो मायड़ थारो लाल कठे, वो चेतक रो अस्वार कटे. Where is that person who is riding the horse Chetak? वो Maharana Pratap kate. Where this Maharana Pratap has gone. So there are wonderful poems, as I mentioned, written on Maharana Pratap and his horse Chetak. So this is one of the Mewadi's song which has been written on Maharana Pratap. So this Haldi Ghati battle was fought between Mughal army general Man Singh and Maharana Pratap. So they had done a lot of preparations before they come to this battle. So Man Singh had got almost 1 lakh soldiers from Mughal army, right, from Akbar. And whereas this Maharana Pratap had only 20,000 soldiers. So it's almost 5 times this Man Singh army was, right? So Man Singh army came and they kept all the army gathered in Molena Gaon, whereas the Maharana Pratap's army, they stationed at Losir Gaon, the Losir village. So just to keep all his subjects safe, his capital was shifted to Kumbhalgarh, right? And this was just a battle of 4 hours. Can you imagine, just 4 hours battle? But it was this story, and this battle has been still sung after 500 years as well, because that was the bravery, that was the braveness shown by Maharana Pratap to and sacrificed his life to save his motherland. So here you can just imagine, some few books says that it is 80,000 soldiers, but few of them they says 2 lakh soldiers. So even though whatever we say, it is almost 5 to 10 times Mughal army was there, whereas here Maharana Pratap, he had only 16,000 to 20,000 soldiers. So here we have to understand very clearly, अकबर के सेना में दम था, पर महाराणा प्रताप के सीने में दम था. अकबर के सेना में दम था, पर महाराणा प्रताप के सीने में दम था. So Akbar's was Akbar's army had lot of strength, whereas here he didn't had a strength of army, but he had strength, lot of courage right from his heart, right? So he had ordered his soldiers that they have to attack from the mountains, and this was a Aravalli range. So from the mountains and from the under the Aravalli range, they have to use their bow and arrows and stones, and they have to use these different weapons and kill the Mughals. right? So now here you can see the photo on the right hand side, Maharana Pratap and the Ballol Khan. So Ballol Khan was one of the emperor of Mughal, and he was trying to strike on Maharana Pratap from backside. And can you imagine this Maharana Pratap just by one strike sliced Ballol Khan along with his horse into two different halves. Can you imagine what kind of strength Maharana Pratap had? Just by one stroke, he was able to kill Ballol Khan into two different halves along with his horse. So that was Maharana Pratap. Right? Let's move to the next slide, please. All right. So here so he used to have different war tactics like guerrilla warfare, so distracting the enemies and putting a lot of impact on enemies. So this is generally also used by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So Maharana Pratap joined hands with Hakim Khan, who was the king of Afghans, and Afghans, they were the also the enemies of Mughals. So he was ready to fight for Maharana Pratap. So when this fearsome battle, when it started, as I mentioned earlier as well, wherever Maharana Pratap used to get into any of the battle, the half of the army was getting destroyed just by because of his valor and the way he used to fight with all the army men, enemies. So Mughals started running away because they knew very well that if we stay in the battle, we'll be just chopped into two. So, but this was stopped by the Mehtar Khan, who was the emperor of one of the minister of Mughals, and he said that there is a Akbar, Emperor Akbar is coming from the other side with the army. So all these Mughals who were running, they were just thinking, if we run away, Akbar is going to kill us. And if we stay here, Maharana Pratap is going to kill. So it's better to stay here and fight with Maharana Pratap. So there was one more incident which I would like to narrate here. In between, Maharana Pratap knew that Man Singh had gone into a forest. This was just before the battle. He had gone to a forest and with not much of army. So he didn't utilize this information and captured Man Singh. So he was the man of the principles. As I mentioned, he was the man of the principles, and because of that, he didn't do anything. And he said that I will kill or I will whatever I want to defeat him, I'll do it on the battlefield and not like this from in the going in the forest. And so that's why I mentioned no backstab from the by Maharana Pratap. So when this so during the battle, he started searching for Man Singh, who was riding on a elephant. And that time, what how used to happen is like each and every elephant used to have a big sword which was attached to his trunk, right? And uh, so um, and so whenever used to different enemies used to come, the using the trunk, they used to slice off, the elephants used to slice off using their swords. So Chetak used to have the similar thing. He used to have a elephant trunk put on his head. So lot of the elephants used to get confused whether he is a horse or whether he is a elephant. So the when he noticed, Maharana Pratap noticed that Man Singh is riding on an elephant, he immediately jumped along with his horse Chetak, and he was gave a big stroke on Man Singh, but somehow he dodged the stroke, and the Mahavat, the elephant rider, he got killed. In this jump, what happened is one of the Chetak's leg got cut because of the, as I mentioned, the elephant used to have a sword in front of that. So that sword injured Chetak. And Maharana Pratap was also badly injured because of the gruesome fight with all the enemies. So that time, Jala Vidya, one of the minister, he said that I will take care of this battle forward. You please, because both of you are badly injured, you just go away and I will take care of this battle. So immediately Chetak immediately left, and Chetak uh, Chetak, he rode so fast that he knew that I have to ensure, I have to keep my master safe, and he started running so fast, and finally towards the mountain. And there was a place where there were two different mountains, and there was a huge gap between both of them. So it was almost 28 feet, 26 to 28 feet, and he just jumped off from one mountain to other mountain, and he crossed. Can you imagine, with one leg cut, he jumped almost 26 to 28 feet, and after jumping, he gave his life. So this was Chetak. So Prataparo Chetak Ayore, Prataparo Chetak Ayore. राणा प्रताप के खातिर चेतक दुनिया में आया था. राणा प्रताप के खातिर चेतक दुनिया में आया था. जब तक मिला नहीं प्रताप, उसे हाथ किसी के नहीं आया था. So can you imagine this Pratap, this Chetak, he had just appeared, or he had just taken birth in this great motherland just to be part of this great personality called as Maharana Pratap. So, and till the time he didn't get Maharana Pratap, he never, he was, as in like he never made anyone sit on his back. It was only the first time it was Maharana Pratap, until the last time it was only Maharana Pratap. No one was able to sit on this horse called a Chetak. So there are many poems have been written on this great horse called a Chetak. And where he was he died, and there itself there was a mandir of Lord Shiva, and just next to that only his sorry, his samadhi has been made. Chetak samadhi has been made. So there was again elephant named Ram Prasad. This was also from Maharana Pratap. So this Ram Prasad Hathi, this elephant, he also had the same sword in front of his trunk, and he killed almost 12 elephants of Mughal army and killed many of the horses. So Akbar knew that I want to capture this elephant and I want to take this with me. So immediately he took this elephant, captured, just to capture this Ram Prasad elephant. There were 12 elephants ka ghera was made. So it was this elephant was in middle, and there were 12 elephants encircling him, and he was captured by 12 different elephants. So that was his power, Ram Prasad. So he was taken to the Mughal Raj, and he was asked that you feed this elephant nicely, and for 28 days they were giving him different food items, but he never took any of them. And just because in the suppression of his lovable king Maharana Pratap, he left his body. So Akbar made a wonderful statement that I wanted to surrender. I wanted Maharana Pratap to surrender to me. I am not even able to surrender his elephant. Now, what to talk about Maharana Pratap? So that was the great devotion of Ram Prasad as well as Chetak for his king Maharana Pratap. Let's move to the next slide. So it's almost we'll finish in another 5 to 10 minutes. I know that there is 5 minutes remaining. So so Shakti Singh, he was also following. I don't know, something happened to me, not able to speak properly. So so Shakti Singh was his brother. Shakti Singh and Jagmal, they had gone to Akbar, right? So Shakti Singh was following Maharana Pratap, and after reaching there, when he saw Chetak dying in the arms of Maharana Pratap, Maharana Pratap gave said some couple of lines saying that you have done a lot of cheating to the motherland. And after hearing this couple of lines, he asked forgiveness from Maharana Pratap, and came in Maharana Pratap's party. So then just 1 minute. So so after this, the battle was still continuing, and then Mansingh understood that we are not able to do anything on this, and we have to return back to Ajmer. So Mansingh returned with his entire army back to Ajmer. So Akbar, even as I mentioned, Akbar tried many a times. So Akbar kabhi jeeta nahi, Rana kabhi hare nahi. So Akbar attacked after a couple of years again he attacked, but somehow it didn't work, and so he went back to Delhi. There was one more person called as Jagannath, and that was appointed by Akbar, and he also tried for a couple of years in 1584, and still he was not able to do anything, and he also went back. Let's move to the next slide, please, Nityanand. All right, adversities. So after this Haldi Ghati, the family suffered lot many difficulties. So one of the incident which I would like to narrate here is they were in the forest, and Maharani Ajabdev, she cooked, and there was only one chapati left, and that was his daughter was eating. And Maharani said that you just eat half of the roti right now, and half of the roti you can keep it for night for the dinner. So that was like they were not able to have proper food as well, and that half uh, chapati was taken away by a cat, a jungly cat. And since Maharana Pratap, just by seeing this difficulties, he was just giving a different thought. Is it really worth of doing so much of hardship, and giving a thought whether I should go and surrender to Akbar? So just when that thought was coming, there was one letter which came from um, from this person called as, let me just tell you the name, Prithviraj Rathod. He was one of the minister again appointed by Akbar, and he wrote some very encouraging words for Maharana Pratap. And just by hearing these encouraging words, he was again ready to sacrifice his life for this motherland. With great effort, he gathered many army men, and he discarded the thought of surrendering. There's one more person called as Bama Shah. Bama Shah from Gujarat. He was one of the minister from his helping one of the minister in Rajput, and he saw that how Maharana Pratap was suffering and having so much of hardships. So that time he gave, during those days, he gave almost 25 lakhs rupees to Maharana Pratap, and uh, getting that help, he was so grateful. Maharana Pratap was so grateful to Bama Shah, and he made a wonderful army, wonderful army, again with the Bhils and Afghani kings and different army men he was able to gather. There was one more incident where Abdul Khana Khan, he was asked to capture Maharana Pratap, and when this news came, Amar Singh, who was the son of Maharana Pratap, he distracted Abdul Khana Khan by putting some different bombs on his fort, and with that distraction he went from the other side and caught hold of his wives and daughters and took and brought near Maharana Pratap. And just by seeing that, he was so feeling shameful that this is not how we fight any of the war. If we want to fight, we will fight in the battlefield, and we will always respect all the ladies. So he gave all respects to the wives of Abdullah Khana Khan and daughters, and respectfully sent them back to his kingdom. All right, let's move to the next slide. So we are on the last slide. So this was the last wish. So Maharana Pratap, he had won almost 32 forts, and only one last wish was there. The Chittorgarh was not still in his hand. So Amar Singh took that responsibility and said that I will never surrender to Mughals, and I will ensure that Chittorgarh is freed and is in our kingdom. So few of the points of Maharana Pratap: he fought almost for 12 years to save Mewar and freed large portion of land in Rajasthan from Mughals. Ruled from 1568 to 1597, and he died on January 19, 1597. And so when he died, actually Akbar cried. Akbar cried, and he was very sad that he was not able to defeat Maharana Pratap in his entire life. So he was able to defeat so many of the Hindu kings, but he was never able to defeat Maharana Pratap. So Akbar kabhi jeeta nahi, Rana kabhi hare nahi. Sorry. अकबर के सीने में दम था और अकबर के सेना में दम था और महाराणा प्रताप के सीने में दम था. So these are the few words, few stories, and this was the great personality Maharana Pratap, who gave entire life, sacrificed his entire life in serving his motherland Mewar. So I will so we are almost done, and I will unmute everyone, and if anyone has any questions, please raise your hand and I will unmute you. I see Adi as raising his hand. Do you have any question?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
I have unmuted you.
I have a doubt that
Anyone has any questions?
how did the how Maharana Pratap died? Prabhuji? 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 Prabhuji?
Haripriya?
Prabhuji, I had doubt. I was asking.
Yeah, is it Haripriya or Adi?
Adi. Prabhuji, the doubt was that
Yeah, Adi, go
how
ahead.
did Maharana Pratap died?
Your voice is not audible.
My voice, Adi's voice?
Sorry?
Is it?
Left his life.
How did the Maharana Pratap died?
So yeah, Haripriya, go ahead.
It is not Haripriya, it is Adi Lakshman.
Haripriya.
Prabhuji?
Yeah, I got your question. Adi, I got your question. How did he died? I will talk about it. This Haripriya, do you have any question? I'm just unmuting you again.
Prabhuji, how did Maharana Pratap leave his life?
Yeah, the same question. Okay, all right. I'm just, I'll just give the answer. So, Maharana Pratap, as I mentioned, he didn't die on the battlefield. I am sorry, I missed that point. So, during the hunting, um, uh, when he had gone for hunting, so there was some incident when he was fighting with a tiger. He got lot many injuries, and because of that his health deteriorated, and then he died. So at the age of 57 he left his body.
Prabhuji, one more doubt. How can he is such a powerful man, and how can the tiger kill him? He may have killed the tiger, no?
So a good question, Adi, but he was definitely a very big personality and very strong. But at the same time, there is a possibility he may have got hurt on the chest, on the head, which is very soft, and there's a possibility of.
But he wears the armor, no, of
No,
80
he was.
kg.
That time he was not. So during armor, he is just wearing during the battlefield, not during the when he is going for hunting.
One more
Yeah.
thing. How did Prithviraj King kill the tigers and all?
So Prithviraj King, I have not read much about Prithviraj King, but probably I can read about it and I can come back to this question next time.
Thank you, Prabhuji. It was a nice post. One more thing, can you make that how can we have this link of the class with YouTube, and how can we have this after the class?
Okay, so what
Is this class recorded?
Yeah, these sessions are being recorded, and we will be sharing this recording only to the folks who have attended the session. So probably we may continue this again. These
So if you can you try to send the meetings with the next class onwards, if you can.
Yeah, what would be done is I will just check with the backend team, and I'll get back to you whether we can share that immediately or after all 8 sessions have been done.
Prabhujan,
So
one more thing, that after 8 sections, can you have a thing that every sessions which are we have such small notes.
Adi, can you come back on your question, please?
Nothing, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
So I see Shubilas also. I'll just ask, unmute. Haribol.
Haribol Prabhuji, Dharma Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Oh, acha. Dayalu Prabhu. Please.
Thank you
Go
very
ahead.
much. Take care of your health. You're not sounding all that good.
Yeah, actually, in between it started. It was not in the at the start, but in between it started.
Okay, okay.
All
Very,
right.
very interesting session.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let me just check with Haripriya again. Do you have any more question?
Prabhuji, I have a question that, you know, even Shivaji Maharaj died at a very young age. I believe he was also in his 50s when he died.
Very true.
Yeah. How did Shivaji Maharaj die? Do you know?
Again, Shivaji Maharaj, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj also was having bad health. He was not keeping well, and exactly I don't recollect whether it was some kind of disease he had, and because of that he left his body. But probably I may check back and I can just tell you which disease it was. But definitely it was some kind of disease, and because of his bad health he left his body.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. All right, any more okay, great. Thank you so much, children. And Alexander died of mosquito bite. So when death comes, it can come in any shape or form. Let me just check the chat if anything is there. Yes, Radhika, you are right. Yes, he died of mosquito bite because of malaria. And there's one thing about Alexander, that he said that while I'm taken to the for the last rites, make sure my hand is in upright position, is in open position, just to showcase to the whole world that I tried capturing the whole world, but while I'm going, I'm not taking anything along with me. So thank you, Radhika, for sharing that. Okay, great. Thank you so much. What is the story of the tiger in the... Okay, that has been done. All right. Thank you so much once again, and we will see you on Sunday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.